Integration. In this segment, we will go through an in-depth review of the pillars of integration. This includes a review of all your processes and policies across various lines of business or entities that are integrating. We will do an in-depth review of the systems within each business or line of business or entity. And finally, an in-depth review of the organizational structure across these entities. The first step in review of your process and policies, we will go through a standardization process where we look at your policies across your entities and standardize them and make them consistent. For example, your accounting policies, your revenue recognition, for example, or your T&E policy, or your vacation severance. It could be bonuses, incentives. It could be many policies regarding cost recognition and amortization. We also develop a common business language across these entities. Many times as we go through integration, we encounter various lines of business calling the same element within their financial statement in different terms. So we'll make sure not only your policies are consistent and standardized, but we all speak the same language. Then we go through and streamlining and realignment of your policies and your reporting cycle. In this slide, we'll show you an example of an organization that is not fully integrated. You will see their systems, various systems at the bottom. This could be your customer relation management system, or your ERP, or your forecasting system, or business intelligence. These are typically siloed across various departments or stakeholders that use those systems. And the way the systems are used, again, very manual through uploads and downloads. And the information that comes from these systems are then handed over to other stakeholders or other departments through a manual process. What happens is there's many inconsistencies, there's reconciliation problem. It's very time consuming. As these issues come up, there will be meetings and communication problems throughout your entire organization. This is an example of a redesigned system architecture where we saw in the previous slide there were many siloed systems and the communication across the organization and dissemination of the data was very manual. What we come up with is an enterprise application integration strategy, which will include your integrated ecosystem, which houses all your individual systems. In this example, the 5 systems you had that were disconnected now are within the same ecosystem, and they will be fully connected through various means. That could be APIs, ETL, or other technologies we use to create this enterprise application integration strategy. And all the stakeholders will access the same ecosystem, the same set of data, and each system will have a single source of truth for the type of data they house. So those reconciliation and miscommunication problems will disappear through this integrated ecosystem strategy. Next step is the organizational assessment, which starts with an in-depth review of organization's readiness for integration. As we review and assess each organizational structure, We will identify inconsistencies across organization and redundancies of certain functions. We then recommend centralization of those redundant functions across the organization. For example, support functions through creation of shared services unit. And finally, we come up with a short-term plan and a long-term plan of restructuring.